Hey everybody, welcome back to the Eerie cast. With me is Chris.
What's up, everybody?
My name is James, and today we're doing a little something different because I was asking Chris if he's ever heard about this theory, and so now we're gonna watch a little video from a guy named the Damn It Man, and the video is Bigfoot actually Cain from the Bible? Weird, right?
No, I never
I've
heard of this. Yeah, I
never
never
heard of
heard of it.
that. Yeah.
No, I never heard of it.
So let's see. I just wanted to see. I think I maybe watched the first minute of this, but like I don't know. I think he just does TikTok too, so I just found his YouTube channel. But yeah, I want to see what he has to say.
All right, go for it.
So everybody knows who Bigfoot is, right? And I say who because everybody knows that Bigfoot is Cain from the Bible, the Old Testament. We've already covered this.
Like,
Well,
everybody knows that
apparently,
already.
not everybody knows this because I came across a video the other day that said Cain was locked up by the Vatican. Still thousands of years old, but instead of being Bigfoot walking around forever, he's locked up in the Vatican. And I called bullshit. And why do I think he's Bigfoot?
That part I loved because he's like that theory of Cain being locked up in the Vatican. That's crazy. That's off the wall. Who would ever believe something like that? Obviously,
Yeah,
Cain is Bigfoot. The same Bigfoot that everybody sees everywhere all at once, all the time,
yeah.
in the woods.
And the what?
Because a Mormon told me so. Let me catch you up. In
Oh, okay. I see
1835,
what.
a respected Mormon leader named David W. Patton was riding his horse through the backwoods of Tennessee. He was all alone, it was about sundown, and the trail was empty. Except it wasn't empty. There was somebody standing in the path, except it wasn't somebody. It was an animal, except it wasn't an animal. It was both. Patton described it as the size of a giant, covered completely head to toe with hair and eyes that glowed red. And if this wasn't a weird enough scene, Patton said that he felt grief emanating from the presence of this creature, or person, or whatever the heck. Patton stops his horse. The figure didn't move. He didn't growl. It just stood there, staring at him. And then it spoke. And what happened next was written down word for word in Mormon history. The creature said, "My name is Cain." He claimed that he had been cursed by God thousands of years ago after killing his brother Abel, condemned to walk the earth alone forever. Patton was stunned, and rightly so, because this creature that's standing in front of him has just told him that I'm Cain from the Old Testament. I'm sure you've read about me. The being explained that he longed for death, but he couldn't die. He said that his pain was endless and that he had no home. Then Patton began to pray, and as he did, Cain screamed. Bigfoot screamed. You get it. Not in rage, though, in agony. And then he vanished into the forest without making a sound. That encounter right there became a part of Mormon lore. Some Mormons are going to say, I've never heard of this. Others are going to say, yeah. This man Patton wasn't just a fringe believer. He was a trusted apostle of the early Latter-day Saints church. And this wasn't just any story. It was the origin of a theory that still exists to this day, that Cain never died, that he walks the earth, and that he has become something completely different. Something that we now call Bigfoot. Think about it. Bigfoot is always alone, massive in size, covered in hair. He doesn't build homes. He doesn't gather in tribes. He wanders. He avoids people. And he appears and then vanishes. Forests, deserts, mountains, but never in the same place twice. There's never more than just one figure, one presence, one being.
Huh.
Always watching, always suffering. And here is where it gets stranger. In Mormon scripture, specifically the book of Moses, found in the Pearl of Great Price, Cain wasn't just cursed. He also makes a pact with Satan. He becomes what is called Master Mahan and is given secret knowledge to destroy others for personal gain. He becomes the prototype for evil men and possibly more than man. I'm just repeating what I've read, all right? So what if the curse was literal? What if Cain was transformed into a creature of the wilderness, immortal, burdened, feared, and still out there, still wandering, still hiding in places that we don't go after dark? Most of us. Skeptics all call it folklore, urban legends, but believers, they say it explains everything. Why Bigfoot has human-like intelligence, why he's never been caught, why there's only one, because he's not an animal, he's a man. with a curse. And if that's true, if Cain is real, then every blurry sighting, every broken branch, every eerie cry in the night isn't just a mystery of nature. It's the echo of Eden, the footsteps of the first sinner, the man who could never die, still walking among us, trying to disappear but never quite allowed to. Damn it, man.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the beginning part I was interesting, but then after I kind of felt like, uh, I don't know. I don't believe it when he said where the story came from. You know,
I don't know.
but
I don't know if I've ever heard anything about that in the Mormon testaments, Bibles, whatever. Um, I mean that's weird, but I mean that's just one source too. And then the fact
yeah.
that like I feel like a lot of people supposedly see Bigfoot everywhere, but then he says, yeah, that's why you see Cain the Bigfoot everywhere because he's always. I don't know why he even said like, oh, he just disappears, reappears someplace else. It's like that doesn't make any damn
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's interesting. I've heard that theory before though, where Cain is like forced to walk the earth and never allowed to die and stuff like that. I've actually heard about that
Huh.
before,
Right.
but I've never heard of Cain being Bigfoot, and I've never heard of Cain being locked up in the bottom of the Vatican. But to me, I feel like that's more realistic than Cain is Bigfoot.
So I don't get it. So what he's saying is that Cain is still alive, and because of that curse to
Right,
this day.
right,
So that's damn. That's so many years though. It's like he had. So basically, he's immortal.
yeah.
Basically,
He's
that's what he's trying
immortal.
to say.
He's like forced to live with the pain and dread and all that. And
So
that
so let me
stuff
get
I've
this
all
straight.
heard, but I've never heard of him being Bigfoot.
So in the Bible, he's the one that killed his brother.
Yeah,
How was his story?
Cain and Abel.
Yeah, yeah.
He killed his
Because
brother
he was
Abel.
jealous, right? But he was
Correct.
jealous or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he was, shoot, I gotta read the passage. But basically, yeah, he was whatever forced to walk the earth, never being able to find a home. But that's actually
Right.
in the Bible.
Right.
Like basically, he'll never like be able to settle down. They would be like a
Yeah.
nomadic tribe. But
Hmm.
I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting correlation. I like that he comes out as like we all know it already. Like we all know that Cain from the Bible is Bigfoot. But then his whole he didn't really say it like how or why or.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is interesting, kind of like whatever entanglement. I don't know what else. I don't know how else to explain it. So
Yeah.
funky.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting story. To
Yeah.
me, it seemed like a TikTok guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the way
He's
his
yeah.
format, and the way he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely a TikTok guy. That's for sure. Like, that's
Yeah.
where I
Not.
saw it. I
Not.
saw it first, and then I found his YouTube channel.
Oh. Okay.
But
All right. Not bad.
yeah, I don't know. I just want to show it to you, see what you thought about it.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. Like I told you in the past, never been a Bigfoot believer at all.
Mm-hmm.
I always I always thought it was just a guy in a suit, you know. I don't know. I've never been a believer. I think I believe more on aliens,
Hmm.
Bigfoot.
See, now I gotta find the one where people think Bigfoot is just alien.
Yeah.
There's some people that think that Bigfoot is an alien. That he just kind of like that's why he pops up here and there because he gets dropped off to do I don't know experiments or something, and then gets picked up later on.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. But all right, thank you guys for joining us. I know that was a real
Yep.
quick one, but I just wanted to show Chris that video to see what he thought about Cain
Yeah.
from the Bible being Bigfoot. And I'd never heard of it before. Apparently, it's well-known knowledge, but now I just feel dumb if I didn't know that.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So
all right, thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to
all
like and
right. Thanks
subscribe.
everyone. Yep. Like
Catch you
always.
guys on the next one.
Yep. Later, everyone.